Hi, this is Faith. Welcome to the Faith Washington Show. We will discuss life, business, leadership, family, and fun, and what happens when your view of the world expands. A wide variety of guests will provide insight on how they do business, family, and leadership in their lives. So now, here's today's show. Hey, welcome everybody. Happy afternoon. I have a wonderful guest on today, and his name is Vinny Alamio. And I am Faith Washington, and we're hailing from the Faith Washington Network, and we're going to discuss some things that Vinny is an expert at, and he is currently a huge part of Brook Training Solutions, and he's going to give us some insight on what some of the things that I spoke with Jeffrey Roach about in 2018. And we discussed that online education and universities were going to be shifting, and Vinny is on the cutting edge of this. So Vinny hails from, as I said, Brook Training Solutions, and he's got 40 years in sales and business. He is absolutely a monster at what he does, and he loves people. He is able to communicate clearly, and this is just a really exciting show for you to be a part of. So, Vinny, go ahead and kind of give the audience a little bit of your background, because you worked very closely with Zig Ziglar, and he was really one impressive motivational speaker on every level and a man of integrity. So, take it away.
Thank you. And first and foremost, thank you for having me today. It's really exciting to be here.
My pleasure.
I grew up in New Jersey, and 5 brothers and a sister, 7 altogether. And my dad was in the candy business, and it was a wonderful upbringing. I learned a lot from my dad. He made us work in every division of his company. And then he asked us, he always used to say, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And then he asked me, Vinny, what did you like best out of all the places you've worked in the company? And I said, sales. And he said, you're in sales the rest of your life. And I got to tell you, I really haven't worked a day in my life because I really love what I do. And in working and selling and living, I met my wife in Texas, and we decided when we got married that, I used to tell people I would never live in Texas, and I've lived in Texas now over 20 years. So, it's interesting.
Never say never.
That's right. That's right. When I went to school in college, I wanted a major in sales. At that time, you couldn't get a sales degree in any college on this planet. And so I had to, learn from the people around me. And then I bought books and tapes, and Zig was a big part of that, a few others. And one day I got that opportunity, and it was just very easy just to come here and learn from the best. And so after that, I met Jeff, and while I was working at Zig, and it's been a great relationship since then. And so we started the school. Actually, Jeff started the school. I was there when he started it, and we've just been going now for over 20 years. So it's been really, really gratifying, fun, and every day is just happy to do it.
Yeah, Jeff and Jan. Jeff did an interview with me, like I said, I think it was 2018, 2019. And after we did that interview on my show, his sales went up 400%.
Yeah.
For what he was currently doing, for what he was doing at the time. I was just completely amazed. So, we kind of thought we would all come back together again and, see what we can bring to the audience and people out there that are looking for alternatives for their careers, for anything that they would like to do, even if they've had a career already and they want to do something else. Possibilities are endless here. It's all online. It's exciting. They get to train with you. I mean, how does it get any better than that? But yeah, Jeffrey and Jan Roach own Brook Training Solutions, and I want to give them a shout out, a hello. Great people, really solid, wonderful people. And Vinny, there's just a lot of things that we could talk about, but we only have 30 minutes. So we'll condense this down. And, you know, one of the things that we talked about was knowing what you want, but you don't know how to get it. And so I know there are a lot of people that would like to make a career change or would like to do something different, but they don't know how to do it. They're not sure how to get started. And if you don't know how, then usually people are afraid to jump. They're afraid to pull the trigger. You know, I've called it my whole life, building the plane on the way down. That's my little key saying. So, you know, how about if you give us some expert insight into that, into what you would suggest, some simple things that people can do to kind of find their way.
Sure, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about that. I really think it starts in the morning. You know, the first input into your mind is 5 times greater than anything else you'll do all day. So if you start positive, you know, you usually end up positive. You only control, in my opinion, 2 things: attitude and effort. And it's funny how your attitude also decides what kind of an effort and how much of an effort you're going to bring forth at this. But the plan is everything. And you know, it's nice to build on the way down, but if you build on the way up and down, you usually get a better solution out of it. You know, we have a course that we teach how to be freight brokers, but really, you know, we include the life skills, and I believe that's what really makes our course different or special. And the life skills is how to apply the information. If you don't know how to apply the information by itself is worthless, in my opinion. And so it's the consistency. You know, first you got to know what you want. You got to have the great plan, and then you got to put it in motion. You've got to be able to get up, and you know, there are some things that are going to happen you don't expect, and some of it will be very positive for you, but some might be a little bit of an obstacle. So it's not if you reach the obstacle, it's when, and then how much of an effort, what kind of attitude you're going to have to get past that. Who are you going to go to? You got to put people around you that are going to build you up. And you got to stay positive. You got to put in the pure and the powerful. You got to be consistent. You know, the consistency gets you there. You know, it's that every day getting up. I mean, when you wake up, do you hit the snooze or do you say yippee and do you run out, go do what you're supposed to do? And you know that starts with the attitude, and then comes the effort behind it. So you know, if you really love what you do, and I do, you know, it's really easy to get rolling in the morning.
Yeah, no doubt. I one little interjection. Can you explain to the audience what a freight broker does?
Awesome. Yes. Well, you see 18 wheelers out there on the road. And what a freight broker does is these drivers just have enough to do with just driving the truck and getting it from point A to point B, unloading and loading. The freight brokers actually find the shippers who need the freight move. They interface with, and you might call them customers, and they take care of all of the details of what they're shipping, how much weight, you know, what the time frame is, and then also tracking the truck, keeping in touch with the shippers on where the truck is, when it's going to get there. So they do all of the overseeing, and most of it's interfacing with the customer. And when the driver's driving, they're not really supposed to take calls unless they have a headset. They're not even allowed to use their cell phone. So if a customer has a question, you know, that's where the brokers step in and they kind of coordinate things. And then they also sell for the carrier. You know, that's a job in and of itself, selling. And so that has its own special skills. And so that's what a freight broker does, all the in between.
Perfect. That's a lot. There are a lot of moving
Mm-hmm.
parts there. Huge amount of moving parts. So that training is probably pretty sizable. How long does it take for somebody to start to finish your training and the freight broker training? How long does that take approximately, Vinny?
Wow. You know, we have a 1 week basic, and then we add to the advanced course, and then we have coaching and consulting. Some of our clients, they want to speak every single week because business doesn't end. You know, you could graduate school, but your education doesn't stop there. You better be learning every single day. And I constantly learn how to become a better person and improve my skills. And so we have a 1 week basic, and then we have advanced, and then we have coaching and training and consulting after that. But each individual has what I call gaps. After the basic, some folks they have enough confidence to say, I'm ready to go. And they go and they've been successful. Others say, no, I need another week. And so we go into the extra week. And then others say, I want to talk every week because my business, I want to constantly improve. And that's a way that they can improve. So we all have a lot of different options. We have online, we have in person live, both in Jacksonville. We have it in Charlotte. We have it in Dallas. We have it once in a while in Denver and once in a while in California. So we have a lot of options.
Yeah, that's really helpful because that means that they can do do with their own lifestyle what works for them. With a
Mm-hmm.
live training because they need to see and hear both, or the online education where you can go through it at your own pace. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's a bonus. And I didn't know that you did it in all those different cities. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yep.
So
We do
very
that.
cool.
Yeah.
So we talked about starting the day right, and then we also talked about, and this was important to both of us for our lives. Who do you wish to be? What kind of legacy are you going to leave? What's important to you? Like for me, what's important for me is freedom and justice in this world. And I'm an advocate for people and an advocate for business owners and entrepreneurs and the small business owner. Um, so, what's your perspective on that?
Well, not only do you have to know what you want, but it's not what you get when you reach your goal, it's the person you become. And when you become a bigger person, first of all, the fear is gone. And then it becomes eventually how can you help other people, our society, to keep that freedom, to keep that justice. We train a lot of military folks. They give a great amount of their life. And I got to tell you, it's amazing the discipline they come with, the commitment that they come with. And, to be successful, you've got to be committed and you got to get up see, winning is an every time thing. It's not just a once in a while. And so you've got to be ready to do it every day.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Um, so, when somebody has gone through the course, all right, would you say that they come out and they're going to be, it's on some level or another, they're going to be pretty good in sales?
Absolutely. One of the first things you'll learn is everybody's in sales. If I had to define sales in one word, it's influence. So anytime you're trying to influence anybody else, you're selling. And selling means emotion. The best definition I know of selling is a transference of feeling. If you can make others feel like you do about what you want to influence them with, makes life real simple.
Yeah. So, give me maybe one or two of your really cool life experiences that, you know, you like to share that you feel so great about, and it was kind of hairy and scary and fun, and you went the roller coaster and came out doing great on the other side.
Well, I got to tell you something. That's really gets to the heart of things because, in life, you try and be as humble as possible. And you called me an expert, and right away, I have to try and be humble and say, thank you very much for the compliment. But I'm still growing. I still have a lot more to achieve. As far as past victories, I mean, even my smallest sale is a victory because you get to help people. But I've had some really tremendous sales in my life, and I've been humbled and I've been put on the top of a mountain. And when God places you on top of that mountain, the euphoria you feel is just incredible. I learned, though, He doesn't keep you there very long. In fact, you better you better fall in love with that journey up and down, because I got to tell you, most of your life is spent trying to get up or trying to stop from falling down. So yeah, those moments that you want to know about, they're there, and I've accomplished, But here's the thing: what's an accomplishment to me may not necessarily be an accomplishment to somebody else, because I love certain things. I love photography. I love football. I love spending time with my family. And so not everybody likes photography and football, but if you ask me, you say, what's your favorite picture that you took? Me, that gets me excited. But to somebody who doesn't like photography, is like, nah, sorry. So it really, that becomes personalized, and each person should, in my opinion, and I got this from Zig, write 200 victories, because they're your victories and they're what's important to you. And then if you possibly have a bad day, you can take out that list, and you know what? You realize it's just a momentary lapse and not your whole life. Because, we're our worst critics. And we got to just remember, the best way it was told to me is take your foot off your throat, because you have accomplished great things and you still have a lot to go. So, as far as my victories, it's just, spending time with my family, photography, football, and when I say family, it's not only my immediate family, but my brothers and my sister. And I've kind of, most of them are in New Jersey and Atlanta and Kentucky, so I don't get to see them as often as I like. So those are special times for me, for sure. That's a huge victory.
Well, family is it. Whether
Yeah.
it's your blood relatives or the people that you build relationships, of trust with, people that you come to love, like
Mm-hmm.
Jeff and Jan, and they're just people that are unforgettable in your life. And
Yeah.
that's when you get to build those special times. So coming back to Brook training, what could someone expect? Let's just say somebody who comes in really not sure, but it's your job to really bring them along and help them to be successful. I mean, it's up to them ultimately. We know that. Okay,
Yeah.
just that in life, that's what it's about. But you know, in your ability to assist people find their way, what does that look like for somebody just walking in? Faith calls up and says, "Hey, Jeff, Jan, I want to sign up for the program. I'm going to do this. Um, what do I need? What do I need to do? How can I be successful? And what are the steps that I'm going to take to do that?"
Great, great question. Yeah. To me, it's all about, and I call it a relationship. Some people call it a connection. Some people call it where they feel comfortable with you. You see, when they all come in, first day, they've got what I call defenses up. That you're seeing not them, but a mask of them, because they're kind of nervous. They're kind of unexpected. What's supposed to be, what's expected of them. And to me, as long as you got communication and expectation set right, everything's fine. And so first I got to make that connection. I got to make that relationship. And the best way I know how to do that is to listen. And so there's a set of questions I ask everybody when they come. Tell me where you grew up, the family you grew up with. Tell me where you live now, the family you live now. Why are you here? What do you want to walk away with? And after just listening to them all, they get kind of really comfortable. And then I go back around the room and I say, what's your greatest challenge? And it's amazing how I haven't had one person not tell me their greatest challenge. It doesn't necessarily have to be in their career life. See, now you get to know the person. Once you know the person, now you can offer them anything, including education. Whether or not they take it, that's going to be ultimately their choice. And you don't want them to take something that's not going to benefit them. So it really, that's where it becomes back on them. It's, if it's their benefit, they're going to take this and run with it. And so that's truly how I start. And then, by midday, it's amazing how quickly we can move.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I'm sure it is very, very gratifying for you when you're able to take a room full of strangers and get them by midday to be talking about things that are challenging and deep, and that's when people start to feel that safety that
Yeah.
maybe I can do this. Maybe I really would like to do this. Or perhaps I'd like to do something on my own, but maybe it's not freight brokering.
Right.
You know,
Right.
which is, as you said, good because we really don't want somebody to do something they don't love.
Yeah. They kind of find themselves.
That's what good coaches do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you're there. That's why
Thank you.
that's why Jeff and Jan have you there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's worked for over 20 years for Jeffy, and it's going to continue to work. I got a feeling this is going to be around a long, long time.
Yes, I think so too. And I think it's going to, morph and evolve into something even bigger because I think that the things that are coming for our society, locally and across this nation and across our earth, um, we're really going to want and need people that are willing to do this kind of task because it's the connections. It's bringing things together. Because without this, if all the movement of goods and services stopped, if the trucking stopped, or the ships or the trains stopped, you know what the implications of that are. It's not a good thing.
No. No.
Yeah. So it's definitely got room for a lot of growth. Um, even people switching careers from something that maybe perhaps they've kind of outgrown and they want to branch out and try something new. But I think the biggest part of this I see just in our conversations and with Jeff is that inner motivation, that inner drive and determination to become the best person that you can be no matter what it is that you're doing. And
Yeah.
to hook up with somebody like you who is a great mentor, coach, teacher, trainer, and learn from the best.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's the truth. I think it makes a huge difference in the success of Brook training and, just also in the success of people in their daily lives.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that you teach in those that it's not going to be given in just a regular educational program. It's
Yeah.
just not the norm. So I think it's
It's
a very special training.
Mhm. It's true, and most of our schools don't include a lot of the things we in the life skills. And so it's interesting because on my own time, I teach some homeschoolers, and they're quite young, and that's really something that I really have a lot of fun with, and to see them start to understand some of the things that wow, I don't have to limit myself. I can do this. I just can't quit. And if you don't quit, you know, it's we used to say, at least I used to say, sky's the limit, but now I heard a new song say, if there's footprints on the moon, the sky can't be the limit anymore.
Good point. Yeah. So what other thoughts or insights do you have that might, I don't know, maybe tempt somebody to check out the website? I think it's
Yeah.
www.brooktraining.com and
Mm-hmm.
click on the website, look it over, check it out, and even if they went for live training with you, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a huge bonus in somebody's life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, our world is training, and you've said this in the sense that some jobs now are being eradicated and moved out for a lot of different reasons. And so now we have a whole population that needs to be retrained, re-educated, and put into an industry that will never go away. And some of these industries either are faltering or not moving in the right direction. quickly as you would like. And so people are getting, looking for a different option. And this could be a definite viable option for them. So if they want to talk, just give us a call, just check our website, have a conversation. Who knows? It might be for them.
Yeah, I just think that there's a lot more to Brook training than meets the eye, at least
Mhm.
in my opinion. Knowing Jeff and Jan, and now getting to know you a little bit better, I think it's a very special company, and that's why you guys have been so successful. You know,
Mhm.
truly. So, you know, there's one of the things that um, we also spoke about, that training is not permanent. That you constantly have to be growing and, you know, building up momentum and character and strength, and, you know, pointing yourself in the right direction, or having, you know, somebody there who can help to point you in the right direction. Like, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, we've got like 4 minutes left, so kind of give me some insight in that.
Sure. Well, one of the questions I ask all my students is, what's the one habit you could add that would have the greatest impact in your life? And that's when I first heard it, was a pretty tough question. I didn't have the answer straight away, but I thought about it a while. I finally got it. And then I give them each a 3x5 card, or I say, go grab a 3x5 card, put it on a 3x5 card, say it minimum 3 times a day, put the number 21 at the bottom, because that's the average it takes 21 days to put or add a new habit. And then I say, okay, let's just take this a little deeper. You do that 12 times a year. What kind of person you're going to be in a year? How about 5 years, 10 years? How about if you taught your children this, where would they be at your age? You see, now it becomes generational. There's your legacy. There is your permanent, it's not constant unless you make it constant. See, personal development is just that, personal. And you got to decide how much development you're going to give yourself. See, an investment in yourself is always the best, because once you have an education, nobody can take that from you. And then after I tell them all that, I said, don't get too excited, because now you got to turn the card over. And what's the one habit you have to eliminate? Oh, see, now they don't like hearing that, right? So,
Yeah.
rougher
Uh-huh.
question now, right? No. So then I say, put number 45 on the bottom, because that's the average amount of days to take away. But now let's take it further. You're adding 12, maybe taking away 3 to 8 every year. What kind of positive effect is that going to be, not only in your life, but the people around? And then if you commit to that and you start young enough, even if you start old enough, it doesn't matter when you start. It only matters how you finish.
That's true.
Yeah.
100%. Yep. Not how you start, but how you end. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And
It's
there's
a
always time.
beautiful.
There's always time.
Well, time as long as, you know, each person has on the earth. You
Yes.
know, we never know how long that's going to be. So live it to the fullest every single day. You know, don't have regrets. Just onward and upward.
Yeah.
Onward and
And
upward.
it's the days that you're so busy that go by so fast. It's the days you have nothing to do. Those are the longest days you'll live.
That's very true. That is so true, without a doubt. Okay, so we have a minute left. Vinny Alamio, tell me, what is one phrase or one key thought that you have for this audience? Because I'm going to bring you back. We're going to do
Sure.
another half an hour.
Thank
We're
you.
going to do a little meatier segment next time. But what do you think? One phrase.
Well, I like this one today, and it changes every day. If it's going to be, it's up to me.
I
It's all
love
about what
that.
Yeah. It's all about what you do in life. That's the only reward you get, is actually things you do.
Love that. That's powerful. Say it again.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
So, folks, hold that in your thoughts, and we're going to have Vinny back for another 30-minute segment. But I want to thank him very much today, Vinny. I appreciate you coming on and taking time out of your really busy training schedule, because I know it is. It took us a couple weeks to get here. Um, but I look forward to having you back. And everyone, please, if you didn't get the information, watch the show again, and we'll have him back for more info. And everybody, have a fabulous rest of your day. Thanks so much for joining us on the Faith Washington Show.
You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business.